Pennsylvania teenager was buried last week after running in front of a tractor trailer. 14-year-old Brandon Bittner left behind a suicide note, drawing attention to the years of bullying he'd endured. Brandon was a high school freshman. He said for years he'd been called derogatory names and simply couldn't cope with it anymore. It is National Bullying Prevention Week, and educators are here in Seattle for the International Bullying Prevention Conference. Cyberbullying takes center stage. We've heard more about that. The focus is on how to spot bullying and giving victims the tools to fight back. Corinne Gregory joins us in our studio. She's a speaker, author, president of The Polite Child based in Bellevue, and the founder of the Social Smarts program. Corinne, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Brad.
To talk about this issue that just doesn't seem to go away. In fact, it seems to be getting worse and worse, even though we've raised awareness. You have some information. In the last 8 weeks, there have been at least 36 reported cases of bullying suicides. Are the cases actually going up, or are we just talking about it more and we've raised the awareness?
I believe the answer is yes. The cases are going up. In fact, the body count, if I hate to put it that way, seems to increase on an almost daily basis. And one concern that I have and share with a lot of other experts is a lot of concerns about copycat suicides because of the emphasis that there's a lot of kids who now feel that there is no way out and suicide is becoming an acceptable solution.
If nothing else, this should be startling that this many kids feel bullied to this point where they are now hopeless, where they can't get help. They don't think it's going to get any better, and it's just going to get worse. And a recent survey found 40% of gay and lesbian teenagers have contemplated suicide because of bullying. So are most bullying victims gay? Or is that what we're to take away from this?
No, in fact, that's a misconception. It is true that a lot of gay and lesbian teens particularly are bullied. That's absolutely true. But to say that it is a gay and lesbian problem exclusively really undermines the overall problem itself. There are as many kids that are not gay, lesbian, that are straight who are suffering the same problems. It's an equal opportunity epidemic.
And then we hear about doing something about it. We hear that kids don't want their parents involved. In fact, they will even beg to not have them involved, feeling that maybe they'd even face even more retribution. So you wonder, okay, well, what's a parent to do then?
Well, have the lines of communication open with your child, and there are a lot of different ways that you can handle that problem without making it look like the child is, if you will, ratting on other people.
Right.
It is a safety issue, and it's not just a safety issue for that one child. It's for everyone that's involved.
I know for years you have stressed this whole idea of teaching children good manners. How can that help in this situation?
Well, a lot of what's happening with bullying is that kids are coming into the school system lacking normal empathy and compassion and consideration for other people. And so what happens is they become desensitized to the impact of antisocial behavior on other people. So instead of putting Band-Aids on the end result, the bullying, once it becomes a problem, we advocate developing pro-social skills that are a preventive to having that happen.
At the same time, I'm assuming we need to address what parents should do if they think their child is being a bully, is bullying others, whether it's online or in person.
That's right, and it becomes a real challenge, particularly if you feel that your child might be the bully, because we as parents, our natural inclination is to say, oh gosh, it can't be my child.
Right.
And so the defensiveness is normal, but it's also counterproductive because it doesn't mean you have a bad child. It means your child is troubled, and you need to seek attention for that.
So as we continue to hear more about this and the awareness has been raised, are schools doing a better job of getting involved or putting practices in place to deal with it, to make sure that it's reported, etc.?
Well, some are and some aren't, as you can imagine, and because of the fact that, for example, Washington State has a anti-bullying law, and there are federal mandates that every school must have an anti-bullying policy or program in place. There's nothing that says those programs or policies actually have to be proven to work. And if you ask schools nowadays, can't you do more, the response is very often, well, we just can't afford it. And that's, I think, very problematic. If we feel we can't afford to keep our kids safe and secure, then that in itself is a real problem.
So what's the key then to get over this hurdle? I mean, we're so aware of this problem. We're shocked when we see these numbers. And we assume that something's being done and laws are being put in place, but we wonder, okay, but is that enough to really put a dent in the problem?
Well, we can say, no, it's not. We have a zero-tolerance policy against murder in this country, but yet we still have murders. We need to think more and put more emphasis on preventing the problem to begin with, not so much on, like I said, fixing it, managing and mitigating it once it happens.
Corinne, thanks for coming in and talking about this.
Thanks,
As this conference is here in town, Corinne Gregory, president of The Polite Child. Joyce?